Planning a trip to Lake Como? Looking for inspiration for places to visit on your trip? Then you're in the right place. In this video, I'll share my recommendations from our trip when we visited the towns of Varenna, Menaggio and Bellagio. Firstly, Lake Como is in northern Italy's Lombardy region, and it's an upscale area known for its dramatic scenery. Set against the foothills of the Alps, the lake is shaped like an upside-down Y, and with three slender branches that meet at the resort town of Bellagio. The area around Lake Como has a rich historical heritage. It was a popular retreat for Roman aristocrats and later served as a place of inspiration for writers, poets and philosophers. When we stayed in Lake Como, we chose to stay in Varenna as we wanted to be central to the lake. You can also quickly get to Varenna from Milan on the train, and also we found it was slightly cheaper than other villages. To see the villa we stayed in with our gorgeous private garden and stunning views of the lake, then you can watch my video here. My recommendations for Varenna are: enjoy breakfast at La Cambusa. This is right by the lake and you can watch the ferries coming in and out of the port. They had a beautiful selection of pastries, and we also treated ourselves to some amazing pancakes because, you know, why not? After that, we then enjoyed the view of the lake from Largo Enzo Verini. Now this is a footpath that takes you from the ferry all the way across the bottom of the hill into the main village, and there's some stunning views from this little footpath. There's lots of beautiful flowers hanging down, and also you can get some stunning panoramic photos. After that, we popped in to get some ice cream at La Palacera, and this was hands down the best ice cream in Varenna. We went back twice actually and enjoyed sitting on the steps watching the lake, and they have some cute cushions on the steps that you can sit on, and it was just really beautiful. After that, we went up the stairs onto the main street, and I would just recommend walking around and look to your right hand side if you're going further into the village, and just check out the views of the lake just popping by every time you go past the building. It really is beautiful. Next, I would recommend going swimming in Lake Como. Now, my partner Ed loves to do open water swimming, and so of course he wanted to swim in Lake Como. We actually went to Bao Beach, and please note this is not a sand beach, it's actually full of stones, and he even encouraged me to go in. I'm not a huge fan. The temperature was around 15 degrees Celsius, so it was not warm by any means, but it was beautiful to be in the lake, absorbing the water and also all the beautiful scenery. It wasn't until we left this beach that we realised it was actually a dog beach, so maybe there was somewhere better to go in the lake. If you do know, then let us know in the comments below. I'd be interested to find out. And then finally, we visited Villa Monsterero, which is a botanical gardens. This is a must visit. It was around €10.40 to explore the gardens, and it wraps around the edge of the mountains. The villa was donated to the Italian state back in 1936 and became a museum and a centre for hydrological studies. There's several different paths you can take in this garden with loads of beautiful trees, flowers and greenery. We wandered around here for almost 2 hours, so make sure you have enough time. We didn't book in advance, we just showed up, and there's some stunning views, so really recommend this. Then one of the things is going to be key for your visit is getting the ferry. This is the best way to get around the lake. You can hire a car, but we were already there for 2 days, so we got the ferry service. It takes around 15 minutes to get from Varenna to Bellagio, or it's around 8 minutes to get from Bellagio to Menaggio. It costs around €4.50 for a single journey, or if you're going to do a lot of journeys in one day, it's probably better off to get a €15 ticket. You can either sit inside the ferry, or there's also the option to stand outside. If you do have a car, you can also put your car on the ferry as well. All the information is available on the website, which is in the description below. If you're finding this video useful, then hit the subscribe button for new travel videos every Monday. Next up, we visited Bellano, and actually this was my partner and not me who walked over to Bellano from Varenna. They basically walked over to a 15 million year old gorge which has a waterfall, and it was beautiful. It took them about 1.5 hours to walk from Varenna, but then they got the ferry back. It has some beautiful steps and beautiful walkways where you can actually get really close to the water, so I would recommend this. Then we visited Menaggio. This wasn't our favourite place in Lake Como. We visited the Piazza Giuseppe Galbridi, but we didn't really find too much that was there to look at and do in Menaggio. There were shops, but we found ourselves pretty quickly run out of things to have a look at, so we went back to the ferry and then we headed over to Bellagio. Now, Bellagio was much busier, and maybe it was because when we arrived it was afternoon, but we definitely noticed a difference here in terms of the amount of hotels and accommodation. There was a lot more people here. So once we got off the ferry, we jumped up some stairs and we spotted a little place to have lunch called B-Style Food and Wine, and we had a charcuterie board and enjoyed a non-alcoholic drink. It was lovely sitting on these tiny seats on these side streets that were very steep, watching people walk by, having wonderful food, and the staff here was super friendly, so I would highly recommend, if people are visiting Bellagio, to have some lunch here. We then walked down to Punta Sparvito, which is an observation deck area where you can get a great view of the lake. The view you get here is looking north, so you'll get a great view of Varenna on the right hand side and Menaggio on the left hand side. It was wonderful just to kind of spend time there, chatting to other people who were visiting, hearing where they were from, and just soaking in the beautiful views of the lake. And then finally we walked back up to what Google Maps calls the famous street of Bellagio, but it's better known as Saltia Sambarini. This is where everyone wanted to stop and take a picture, and you can see the reasons why. There's beautiful stairs that shows you the view of the lake, but also all the architecture of the buildings. So that's my guide to Lake Como. Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button for more travel tips, advice and hotel reviews, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.